So Iowa have risen to a ranking that, I mean this when I say this, I don't think even Iowa fans thought they were going to get to this year. Like, this is a team who last year, like, their team on paper was not this year's team. Let's not get it twisted. It was not as deep as this year's team. But on paper, you had Lucy Olsen, who was, no offense to any player on this team, who was better than every player on this team as a lead creator. And yes, they had a really, they beat USC, who at the time were the number one ranked team in the nation. They were robbed. I mean this when I say this, they were robbed against UCLA. Lucy Olsen draws an offensive foul. It's a tie game with 5 seconds to go. And the ref calls a defensive foul and gives UCLA free throws to win the game. Again, absolute shambolic loss. And then by the time they got to the tournament, the Big Ten tournament, they just, in 3 games in 3 days, just came up a little bit short against Ohio State, where, in fairness, it looked like they were going to win the game, and a very dubious foul call lost them that game. That being said, you've now got this Iowa team who, on paper, were at best an equivalent of last year's team, you would have thought, but Ava Hayden stepping up massively. Ava Hayden becoming one of the best bigs in in all of college basketball. Hannah Stuckey, by the way, is, no question about it, on that bubble of a first round pick. I'm not saying she's a first round pick, but she's on the bubble. For me, you take a Hannah Stuckey over a Sarah Williams. She's in that Raven Johnson debate where it's incredibly flawed play, a player who has incredible strengths on the defensive end. You just know that they're going to do something. They can do a job, but what is their upside as an offensive player? And is their offense too much of a negative? Too much of a negative, really, to be a W player. And then you've got Addie Deal, who's stepping up. And Chit Chat Wright's been a revelation. Look, I don't know how Chit Chat Wright at 5'4" projects to be as a pro. Best case scenario, you're looking at Dana Evans. But Dana Evans is a legit pro. Chit Chat is a gamer. She is a gamer. She steps up when it matters. She hits huge shots. She hits a lot of shots. Not only does she hit big shots, she hits a lot of them. So that's what you're looking at. And then, obviously, they're up here at 8th in the nation. They're number 8 in the nation. That is something where I still think that might even be low. I actually think that might be low. 8th in the nation. I need to see what this AP women's rankings. I need to check what the AP rankings are. Because UCLA go up to number 2. Have they lost one game this year? They lost pretty badly to Texas. I don't know how highly I rate UCLA. Although it's an interesting one with UCLA. I personally think that their best player is Kiki Rice. But I like that whole team. They're all seniors. They're going to be garbage next year, even with Sienna Betts. I don't rate Lauren Betts that highly. But let's see. And we'll see anyway. Iowa face off against UCLA in a couple of days. So you got UConn number 1, you got UCLA 2. My computer's frozen, so unfortunately you can't see UCLA Bruins, but UCLA are 2. South Carolina are 3. So they only lost 1 spot after losing to Vanderbilt. They lost to Oklahoma. And they destroyed Vanderbilt, so fair enough. Texas 4. Look, they lost to LSU and South Carolina, so 4, fair enough. Vanderbilt 5. Look, I don't think Michigan should be top 10. I don't think after losing by 30, you should be the 5th ranked team in the nation. I just don't. Especially how they lost. I know Vanderbilt beat LSU. I think LSU are better than Vanderbilt. I think LSU are better. Louisville at 7. Really? Really? That's mental. I think Louisville over Iowa is crazy. I think 7's fair for Iowa. I think Iowa are better than Vanderbilt, but I wouldn't put Iowa above Vanderbilt right now. But I think 8, I think they're better than Louisville. Michigan at 9, yeah, I think Michigan. We're going to be completely honest. I think 9 is too high for Michigan. Oklahoma are better than the 10th best team in the nation. They just are. I understand they're losing a couple of games, but they are a team who you just know when you have Peyton Verhulst, Reagan Beers, Aaliyah Chavez, on your team, and the possible. I don't, maybe off the top of my head, I don't know anybody, but maybe the greatest player to ever come out of Cavan in Emma Tolan. Maybe other than Aoife McGuire could have been. Well, what could have been? No, but Emma Tolan probably the best player to ever come out of Cavan in Ireland, playing for Oklahoma. And Ohio State 11. I mean, they look bad against Iowa, but fair enough. TCU at 12, they seem high. Michigan State 13, again seems high. There is a big gap here. There is a gap forming. And at Iowa State, yeah, no one's voting for Iowa State. I don't know what the hell has happened. Addie Brown might be the best player in college basketball, if we're being honest. But yeah, did anyone vote for USC? Have USC been... I haven't been focusing on USC. Have they been that bad? Have they been that bad without Juju? And people are still trying to say Jazzy Davidson freshman of the year. Give me freaking Blanca over her. Give me Quinones over her. But 8th in the nation. Like, did wonders for his postseason stock last week, scoring 2 wins over ranked opponents. Most recently, the Hawkeyes down to Ohio State, 91-70. If they beat... Look, if Iowa beat Michigan, which I think they will, if they're able to beat Michigan in a couple of weeks, they can lose to UCLA. Doesn't really matter. But as long as they don't screw it against USC, which, look, they might. They still might. Like, there is a world, like USC, surely they've had enough big games, because I'm like, where did they start season off? Ranked like 8th? But they're facing USC, and they're actually not favored to win. I don't know how. ESPN are favoring USC to win this game, who are 11-9 on the season, and how are they getting on in Big 12 play? Lost to Maryland, lost to Minnesota, lost to Oregon, got beaten by 40 by UCLA, beat Nebraska, I guess, beat Cal, got destroyed by UConn, but everyone's been destroyed by UConn, lost to Michigan State, 2 single-digit losses. I still can't believe ESPN are predicting USC to win this game. And what percentage chance are they give Iowa against UCLA? I would give Iowa like a 30% against UCLA. I would give them a 30%, and I would give them against Michigan 70%. So they have predicted Michigan to win this game. I don't even care where it is, to be honest. Against USC, they've given USC the advantage, and they've only given Iowa 11% chance against UCLA. Wow. I would give them a much higher percent chance. I don't care where the game is. I would give them a much, much higher percentage chance than 10 against UCLA. But anyway, yeah, that is pretty much it. Iowa up to 8th for their record high since Caitlin Clark has left the team. So anyway, that's the video. I'll see you guys.